Welcome back to Relics of Hyrule, the series. This is episode 91. I can finally do this. If you're not aware, there was a bit of a hiatus between episodes 90 and 91 because 6.5 broke. Version 6.5 was it was mostly functional, but the important parts weren't functional. As in being able to make a new game or enter a city. Kind of a big deal, so I took a month to fix it, and now it's fixed, and I can finally record episode 91 and show you Crisis, which is that windmill right there. This episode will be Crisis, next episode will be Rage, and then we're gonna reform the Triforce. So here we go. Crisis is the wind tower. It is between Loss and Misery. We talked about Asylum right there, the lightning tower in episode 90, at the very end of it. So, to get to Crisis, you will have to have completed Loss. Also, in order to get to Crisis, you have to cross this cloud bridge, which is very interesting, and you also need to have completed the Ruptured Towers completely. Kind of an important deal. Oh, but did I not fix that? Gonna make a note for that. 6.2, 6.5.2. Okay, that's fun. Great. Thanks. No. Unlock. Jerk. Okay. Gonna make a note. Crisis requires wrong. 6.5.2 will be coming out incredibly shortly. Actually, no, by the time you see this, 6.5.2 will be out. God bless America. There's a few other little things I'm adding to 6.5. Anyway, forget that noise. I'm going to turn down the volume a little. Good lord. How's that? Okay. That's good enough for me. Now, you'll notice, Crisis looks ridiculous. That sky is not the way it's supposed to be, actually. It's supposed to be a normal sky. But whatever. I'm not gonna argue. It's functional, that's what counts. It's all windmills and things hanging out. That sort of thing. This area is heavily inspired by the City in the Sky from Twilight Princess, as well as a little bit of Skyloft from Skyward Sword. And there's some Whiterun assets, and there's the flag for Crisis. It says Wind, and then Crisis down at the bottom, and in the center is the Wind Crest from Wind Waker. And this area is the Wind Tower, taking after Wind Waker. Rage is the Earth Tower. And, let's see if we can make this jump. Nope. But that's okay, because we're put right at the start. Which is an interesting characteristic. Why the hell do I have an Olympic? Oh, no, I know why. It's, that mod that has Olympics in it. Why do I have Thieves Guild armor? Let's just put on the true hover boots, because those will help me do this. Boop. Okay. So like the other Ruptured Towers, you have a nice Armos here waiting for you. For some reason, whenever you look at an Armos, the game lags into oblivion. I don't know why. I'll look into it. I'll think about it. Instead of a scroll, you get a staff of Summon Wind Gemos. The reason being, if this place is so weird that I didn't want people to waste scrolls, so I gave them a staff. And we have the lyrics to You'll Never Walk Alone from Carousel. When you walk through a storm, hold your head up high and don't be afraid of the dark. At the end of the storm, there's a golden sky and the sweet silver song of a lark. Walk on through the wind, walk on through the rain, though your dreams be tossed and blown. Walk on with hope in your heart, and you'll never walk alone. You'll never walk alone. Okay. And there's some more chunky parts. It is eerily quiet right here. When you're not near windmills, it is eerily quiet. And that's intentional. you may be able to see that. So right here, right in the middle, toward the left now, there's a maelstrom. That is our goal. That is our destination. So I'm walking on... Oh, geez. Never mind. I was walking on those. But I will need to do that again, because there's a gap. You just gotta keep moving. Whee. Okay, here's another cool thing. A little steam thingy that's driving the propellers that keep these areas aloft. And that valve activates that malarkey. And I could go down, but ain't nobody got time for that. And by down, I mean down the staircase that's in that tower. There's a few pieces of extra loot scattered around here. If you do the platforming. What I'm going to do I have... I think I have... Yes. Pharaoh's Wind. That is this one. I'm going to put a Pharaoh's Wind marker right here. In case I fall, then I can just warp back to it. And let's see if I can do this. I believe there's a chest. Nope. Could have sworn I put a chest here. Another thing for 6.5.0 butts. Alright, Pharaoh's Wind, do your thing. Turn to the warp point. Let's recast it, put it back. This will save time in the long run. I really do... I think it might be inside that little building. It's been so long since I made Crisis that I don't really remember exactly where I put things. No, I guess not. Yeah. Well, I made a note to put a loot chest in this area because, like, what's the point of having that staircase if there's nowhere to go? Oh well. Okay. Also, how the heck do I get back? Oh, no, never mind, doesn't matter. God, what a noob. He can't even figure out how to go in his own dungeon. Yeah. Bite me. I wonder if you could put runes. Nope, you can't put... Nope. No runes on those. Hey, buddy. Here's a present. Here's another one. Did I get my presents? You don't like my presents? Well, I'll give you a... Here's another present. I said, there's another present. There you go. Currently, the Wind Gemos are the only enemies here. I want to add more in the future, and I will add more in the future. It's a nice steamy thing. But currently there's there's not that many wind-themed enemies available in Zelda lore. So I've made do with what I had. Oh wait, no, there was a thing. It's not there. Think. Wait. Because that door open... Ah, there we go. This is where it is. Here's the valve. There we go. Of course, that door opens normally, without any effort. So I should probably make it a portcullis. Okay. Go on in. How's it going, buddy? Hello. You jerk. Oh, nice. I approve. I'll get that ebony arrow back. What? How is my carry weight? Not good. It's all that Thieves Guild armor. Ah, there's the valve. Really, the bulk of this area is jumping. There's not really that much in terms of puzzling puzzles, yes. It's mostly jumping around, making sure that you have the right footing, and going around pulling switches. I was considering making it like split in half, which somebody suggested, and I really like that idea. But it just didn't turn out that way. It just turned out this way. And sometimes when you design stuff, you just end up letting it be how it ends up being rather than what you want it to be. I think Crisis works the way it is, and I do not intend to change it because 6.5 was an adventure and a half trying to get it to work. Oh, I'm carrying too much to be able to run. Let's drop some crap. How about all this 18 pounds of spoiled junk? That'll do it. Jeez. I'm gonna quick save. Oh, I should also place a Pharaoh's Wind marker. Because if something goes wrong, gotta get back to here. I'm also thirsty and tired, apparently. Anytime, there we go. Takes forever to save. Oop, dispel the warp point. Something I rarely do. There you go. Wait a second. Oh, never mind. I thought it depleted Magica when you were charging it, and it depleted more when you cast it. When you cost it. I don't think anyone says cost it. Ooh, that's Z fighting. And it's okay. I'm okay with that. Hey, buddy. I'm gonna hit you with my sword. Is that okay? There you go. Boop. And this is probably my favorite area in the entire dungeon. That area is okay, but this area right here, I might put a tree over there. I'm gonna put a tree over there. This thing is really cool because it's a sideways broken tower. It's just a lot of fun to walk on this. Yep, there we go. There's a well. Here's a present. Come on over. Nope. There you go. Maybe not. Nope. Nice. That was a cool pose there. Oh, he's not dead. Get out of my face. Get out of my face. Point blank. They don't seem to be enjoying the nav mesh very well. Good night. Like they're not attacking me very much. Maybe they just can't, or maybe I need to place them better. I don't know. Whatever. Hey! Need to aim that a little better because I just walked up to it and it was fine. Okay. Hello? Santa? You dead? He's dead. What does he got? He has... Ooh. Moon Shard is important, so I'm going to take that. But I'll leave everything else. Now I hope the door... I think the door over there is working. And if it's not, then I'll have to use the console and make another note for 6.5.2. My goal was 6.5.1. Yeah, so these are steam traps. They do harm you, but I have all sorts of contingencies in place so that I'm not hurting. Oh yeah, that one's the best one right there. You can see that they're actually flamethrowers, but they cast a different spell. There we go. Right in the back. Good night, sweet prince. face. Come on. Come on. Oh, he went behind the thing. Oh, I should... Terror's winded up. There's another place that should have a chest. No. There we go. Take that flawless garnet and the moon shard. Oh, that's the black fairy. Get out of here, buddy. There's a random bridge just floating up there. Yeah. Hey, how's it going? They just can't get close enough to attack me. That's the problem. 'Cause I'm like Robin Hood. Where did this shot cloak come from? There's gotta be... Maybe it was, one of those weird spurred perks. Honestly, this character's getting a little too strong. I'm thinking of scaling her back significantly. Like... I'll keep Majora's Mask unbound, but I'm thinking of giving her different armor and dismissing all these fairies. Oh, that's the thing underneath. Because it's not as fun. Like, there's no challenge. But I'll just complete the Ruptured Towers first, and then I'll worry about that. Any more Gemos that I can shoot in the face? Alright, here's our loot chest. Let's see what's in it. It has dun, 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 a yellow rupee. Wow. Oh, forgot there was a valve somewhere. Poop. Now I have to go backwards. I suppose what I can do is use Pharaoh's Wind. Let's use Pharaoh's Wind to go backwards, because there was a valve that I missed. Turn to the warp point. I hope it's... Oh, that must be it. Oh, wait. Hang on. There we go. Is this it? That must have been it. I believe so. Yes, it was, because the giant blue thing, blue maelstrom, isn't there anymore. Hoi! Whee! Okay, so we are officially at the end, more or less. We're almost there. Oh no, yeah, we're almost there. We're halfway there. Oh, living on a prayer. Let's see if this door broke. Could have sworn I fixed it for 6.51. Can I get a witness? Yes, excellent. That's good. It's just the door to the... well, that's nice. Okay, let's try this again. Come on, no whammies, no whammies. Okay, that seems like a good sign. Okay, this is Desperation. This is the boss arena of Crisis. And the boss of Desperation is really interesting. Also what's interesting is the name Crisis is illustrated within the dungeon itself. There's all these random stuff, and it's really hard to tell where you're supposed to go. And then if you fall, you have to start all over, unless you have something in place, like Pharaoh's Wind. And that's sort of like what it's like to be in a crisis. And then this is some weird-ass castle. There's some weird mess right there. All these pillars and windmills and junk. There's a cage over there. There's whatever this is. I think... yeah, so what I'm going to show you is... this is Majora's Wrath? Yeah. So this is the boss of Crisis. Yep. It's an invisible dragon priest. And I made sure to put this guy in the trailer because I wanted people to be sure that he was in fact supposed to look like this. He is invisible. That is the Breath of Vati. And he is weak to magic. Well, enchanted weapons too. Let's see if I have an unenchanted weapon. Yeah. So, observe what happens when I try to hit him with this. Oh. Okay. I mean, it's hard to do damage on him unless you do a critical hit. He's barely getting anything. There we go. Sheesh, he dead. This character is just way too strong. Ooh, I'm okay with this. And he drops all this dust and the Key of Winds, which, the Key of Winds open this guy. So you could just leave right now, but the Key of Winds opens this. You can activate this lever. That thing goes up. This thing goes up, which allows you to jump up here and get this. Opens with the Key of Winds. And inside that is the Outset Shield. Outset Shield. Yay! It's a Wind Waker shield. I'm gonna take that. Sand of Hours, always good. And Silent Winds. This is the first lore book of the expanded Ruptured Towers. This opening quote is from... I forget how to pronounce his name. Eli Wiesel. And then the second one is from Martin Luther King, Jr. We must take sides. Neutrality helps the oppressor, never the victim. Silence encourages the tormentor, never the tormented. In the end, we will remember not the words of our enemies, but the silence of our friends. Finished with my adventures across endless seas, I sought to return home to my sister and grandmother. I felt fulfilled, and that my accidents would keep the world at peace. One moonless night in my journey home, I docked at Windfall Island. I walked the narrow streets, breathed the sea air, and remembered the hours I had spent on the island. I helped many people across the great sea, and the time had come to rest. A cold wind blew through the town, as I huddled against it, a brilliant flash of light seemed to break open the sky itself. Through the breach in the sky, I could see countless gaunt and pleading faces. One person approached the portal and spoke to me. "Hero, help us," he said in a tired, desperate voice. I walked through the rift and it closed behind me. I was in an underground hall with thousands of people staring at me. Every person had a hopeful but unexpected look on their face. "Are you the Hero of Time?" asked the mage who had spoken before. "I am the Hero of Winds," I replied, and the tension in the room gave way to silent disappointment. "We are sorry to have brought you here," the mage said. The room began to empty. "Wait, I can help," I said. "What do you need? Help? Let me help." "We are beyond even the help of the gods," another mage said. "What? What? No, they can still help you. Why do you need the Hero of Time?" "Ganon is destroying our kingdom, and a black beast is ravaging the land. We have lost this war. Only a hero could save us now." I am a hero, but you reject my help, I said, and looked again at the saddened faces. How many heroes have you summoned? Too many. Hundreds, perhaps. Hundreds? You have been that dedicated to finding a hero. How much magic have you used? How long have you been trying? Why have you not been using this magic to end the war? No hero has succeeded, and you will fail as well. We cannot leave this place. It is not safe. We would surely die. You will not fight, you will not speak against the evil that has plagued your land. This war is beyond us. There is no more hope. We must stay silent and hidden if we wish to live. No, no, you do not know. I turned to address the entire room. Hear me, I know what Ganon is capable of. I have defeated him before. If we do not act now, he will gather more power and be truly beyond defeat. Let me lead you. I can help you win this war. But my words like silent raindrops fell and echoed in the silent, empty hall. I ran to find where the people had gone, and as I ran, I came to realize that I was in a massive underground city. I found thousands of people gathered in another enormous room. They were bowed in prayer to the statue of a soldier carrying a battle axe. I heard a voice echo through the room, and the voice said, "You are safe here. No harm will come to you. Remember the words of the prophets and the inevitable return of the hero of time. There is strength in silence." I knew then that these people were lost. But the land was not. I would have to save this world myself, in spite of the people I was to rescue. I turned to leave the room and faced a knight dressed in green. His face was covered by a helmet. Upon seeing me, he held up a finger to his helmet to signal me to be silent. Then he beckoned me to follow. He led me out of the underground city to a waiting horse with a white mane. The horse's saddle bore the wing crest of the Hyrule royal family. Doom filled my mind. I was in Hyrule before it fell. The knight stroked the horse and seemed to speak to it, but I could not hear his voice. He turned to me and held out his hand. In it were a pair of red, flame-like earrings. I took them and stared at the knight. "I know I cannot stop Hyrule from falling," I said. "From falling," I said, but I cannot do this alone." But the knight turned away. "Please," I implored. The knight looked to the ground and took a deep breath, but said nothing. "Sir Knight," I said, breaking the silence, "are you a hero?" The knight raised his head and looked into the distance. He turned to look at me and hesitated, then shook his head. He backed away and held up his hands, a swirl of green magic appearing in them. He crossed his left hand behind his right, with the backs facing me. I noticed something odd on his right hand, but before I could recognize it, he was engulfed by a whirlwind of green magic and vanished. I felt a gust of air rush to where he once stood. I looked to the sky and saw that it was black as pitch, with no stars shining through. I saw smoke rising from a mountain crowned by a swirling cloud. In the sky above I saw the smoke clear for just a moment, and a faint star shine through from the forgotten sky. I picked that as my destination. Along the way I would try to break the silence that plagued this doomed kingdom. I knew I could not stop its demise, but I could ease its suffering. "Faror, guide me," I whispered, and climbed onto the horse left to me by the Green Knight, and began my final quest. Okay. So let's break this book down. First thing, this echoes the song Sound of Silence by Simon and Garfunkel. In fact, I wanted to include the lyrics of The Sound of Silence, but there's too many modernisms, I huddle, wait, what is it? Hello darkness, my old friend, I've come to talk to you again, blah, blah, blah. Huddling under a street lamp, when my eyes were, the flash of a neon light, I couldn't make it work. I didn't want to modify it. So instead I wrote something from the perspective of the hero of Winds, with echoes of the Sound of Silence. Hero Help Us is from Nightwish, 7 Days to the Wolves. And this reference, the brilliant flash of light seemed to break open the sky itself. That's a reference to Cold Wind Blew Through the Town, is a reference to Sound of And then finished with the Adventures Across Endless Seas is actually a reference to Majora's Mask, but reframing it. Hero wins. Silence. The word silence pops up a lot, which is intentional. How many heroes have you summoned? This explains the Battle of 1,000 Heroes. What really happened with the mages summoning hero after hero. There's another piece of lore that I want to integrate. I actually forget it. It'll come back to me. But there was another thing that the Battle of 1,000 Heroes doesn't really explain. It explains how things like the Wind Waker got to Skyrim. But there's some things that it doesn't explain, and I'm thinking of adding a little bit more lore in a future update to explain just a little bit more how certain things got to Hyrule. There was one little thing that wasn't explained. I think it was... I don't remember. Anyway. You will fail... You will not speak against the evil is subtle reference to Sound of Silence. You do not know. Fool, said I, you do not know. Hear my words that I might reach you. Take my arms that I might hear my words that I might teach you. Take my arms that I might lead you. Reach you. That sort of stuff. But my words like silent raindrops fell and echoed in the silent. No, that's Sound of Silence. Massive underground city implies that it's a dwarven city, and the dwarves coexisted with Hyrule. And the statue of a soldier carrying a battle axe. That is very subtle, but that's Boethia. And this voice is Boethia. So Boethia is another Daedric prince that was involved. And the idea of... and the sign said, the words of the prophets are written on the subway walls and tenement halls. That's what this paragraph is, essentially. The idea of Boethia manipulating the people hiding to stay hidden so that Boethia can do what she wants with them. People were lost. Horse with a white mane is obviously Epona. And the Green Knight is another piece of lore that I really like. And we'll find the Green Knight's armor eventually. The Green Knight is really cool. I referenced the Flame Shield earrings from Skyward Sword. The piece of lore... Oh, I forget. Don't mind me. I'm just trying to remember something that I forgot. And then the Green Knight cast Farore's Wind. He crossed his left hand behind his right with the backs facing me. That's a very specific gesture. Something odd on his right hand. So think about that. And then this looking to the sky and seeing a single star shining through is a reference to Lord of the Rings, Return of the King, and that reference will recur when we go to Rage. Alright, so that's Silent Winds. It's a really important lore book. It's probably the quintessential lore book for... one of the two quintessential lore books for 6.5. The other one we will find in Rage. And I think that one is really good. I really like it. There's a couple other ones in 6.5 that are really good. Okay, so let's go back. Fortunately, I was very wise. This door thing, portal, whatever, this actually brings you back to the beginning of Crisis. So you don't have to walk through it, because Crisis is sort of a one-way street. So this door will bring you back to the beginning. And I will add loot chests, and I'll make it a little more forgiving. I did modify it in 6.5, but those changes were lost because it broke. A little more. Forgive it. Because there are parts that you can get stuck and you have to jump. But fortunately you don't die. Okay, so let's go back from whence we came. Does this actually work? Oh. Well, let's just drop. There we go. Okay. Now, it is time to go to Rage. And that's the end of this episode, episode 91. In episode 92, we will go to Rage, the Earth Tower, which should be opened normally. And we'll complete the sort of epilogue to the Ruptured Towers that involves the Hero of Winds. So thank you for watching, and join me next time for some more amazing stuff.